Welcome to Meet the Biz. I am David Zimmerman, and today is a very exciting day for me because we have, to me, someone who I think is, you look up voiceover animation in the dictionary and his picture is there, to me. He has done so many voices, animation. He's 3-time Emmy nominated, Mr. Bob Bergen. Bob Bergen.
I fear that you're easily excited, but I appreciate the introduction.
I am. Well, I'm excited when I am connecting with people I love.
Oh, cool. Well, back at you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah.
And welcome to my booth.
Welcome. Is this like a new booth? I saw you building. No.
No. I've had this booth for about 13 years, and I've used it just for auditioning. But with our current disruption of the industry, we've now, those of us who did animation, we didn't have to work from our home studio.
Right.
Because we do ensemble work, we had to go to a studio and they had to use consistent rooms with consistent mics. If you do commercials, if you do promos, if you do narration, you can work from home. But animation, you really can't work from home.
Right.
Well, now we all have to work from home. So in the last literally 2 weeks, I have completely upgraded my booth to a broadcast quality working studio. It's always been broadcast quality, but I've never used it to work. So now I have.
Wow. For those who want to get a booth, what does that entail? I mean, is it a costly thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
But so
yeah.
What I have is called an acoustic system sound booth, isolation booth. It is, it's solid. It's solid steel. Oops. Yeah. And you don't have to have this kind of booth. They've got things called whisper rooms. They've got, I think they're called studio blocks or something like that. But you need something that keeps the outside elements outside while you're working. And I also needed to upgrade my interface. I got this booth from just third, fourth hand from a friend, and I also inherited her mixing board.
Wow.
And it was old. It was old stuff, but it served the purpose to audition.
Yeah.
But now that I needed to broadcast from it, I had to purchase a brand new interface, and I had to upgrade my mic. And I had to get something called Source Connect so I could connect with the producers outside my studio and they could record me on their end. So over the last 2 weeks, I've spent a good $2,000 and have had a very scary education on how to do all this. But I've had a few sessions already and they've gone really well, and it's business as usual. But the bottom line is, if you want to be in the game, you've got to play.
Yeah. No matter what happens.
No, our business has had disruptions since day one.
Yeah.
And sometimes they affect you and sometimes they don't. In the voiceover world, since I've been in the business, here are the disruptions. When I got into the business in the early 80s, we were doing auditions at the ad agency. And then the ad agency got busy and they decided, or the agents started having booths in their office to hold auditions.
Right.
A lot of actors were upset by this because they had relationships with the ad agencies and the ad executives, and not having that FaceTime, that one-on-one, they felt was going to hinder their chances.
Yeah.
But you could either go with the flow, go to your agent's office and audition, or not.
Right.
And then home studios for auditions became a thing. Some more and more actors were building home studios, and the agents were finding that they could get more auditions out, and more actors could compete. And some actors didn't want to do home studios, and they didn't play the game. Now, with COVID-19 and everything shut down, if you want to play, if you want to work, you've got to be in the game. And those of us who do animation never worked from home. I got to tell you, some of the animation actors didn't even audition from home. They would go to Voice Casters or Voice Tracks West or their agent's office. They didn't want to push a button. They didn't want to do anything tech. All
Right.
of a sudden, they're having to do everything now.
Ooh, so they're really on the learning curve.
Well, yeah, and then you get some people who are, they're upset that they can't afford to upgrade their home studio, or they have a space with roommates and they'll never have
Yeah.
a perfect soundproof area. But you've got seven-figure voice actors that have never had to produce themselves or even audition themselves, going through a technical learning curve that's not why they got in the business. They got in the business to be artists.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And some of the studios are actually providing these top actors with booths and with mics and with the proper equipment. And some of us who have 80% are just buying the rest. But
Right.
we're making it work. We're making it work. And what we're doing right now on Zoom, I
Yeah.
have a show that I'm doing for Netflix where I am being directed on Zoom, and I can see my producers and the network people and the writers, and it's just like being there, but I'm in my home studio.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I also love. I was going through your website, which is one of the best websites I've seen. I've looked at it before many times, but
I appreciate that. It's about to be completely redone because it's so outdated.
well, the thing that I loved was, and I had never been to, was where you have the what is that? I wrote it. Oh, the cool clips page.
Oh, that stuff. Yeah, I'll probably keep that stuff.
I love that. I mean, I was going through it, and I mean, there are treasures on there. Because I heard you when I took your class about you calling up Mel Blanc.
Right.
And then I actually heard it today, and I was like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
what a moment!" It reminded me of, because I'm going through old cassettes now myself,
Right.
and
Right.
hearing me as a 4-year-old and all that. So, wow, that was so smart of you to tape all this stuff.
Yeah, you know what? I know I don't people say what prompted you to do that? I
Yeah,
don't know. I just did. But I always went everywhere with a tape recorder. So, I was always practicing characters, practicing voices, recording people with interesting sounds and practicing their voice. And I also have every voiceover workshop tape I ever did from the very first one to the very last one.
really,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Um, I was reading too in your show that you did, Bob Bergen. So here's the deal. When I was 5 years old, uh, I told my parents, when I grow up, I want to be Porky Pig. And my mother told me, honey, you can't be Porky Pig. You're Jewish.
Right. Right. Which she was very sincere.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite understand what she was saying because we were the kind of Jews with a menorah next to a Christmas tree. So so I didn't
And some
understand
bacon on the table.
well, and I also don't, I mean, I was a kid growing up in the Midwest. I don't think that she took me seriously.
Yeah.
And I don't think I even understood what I wanted. I just saw this fun character and I could do his voice. I didn't know there was a career in this. I didn't know it was acting. I didn't know it was an industry. I just knew I wanted to be this character.
And it made you feel good doing it.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Um, oh, and then I listened to your demo that you sent to Casey Kasem,
Right.
85 voices.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yeah.
Was that all in one take, or?
No, no, no. It was like record, stop, record, stop, record, stop. But I just wrote down a list of characters, and most of them were just impressions. At that time, I had never created a character in my life. I was doing Yogi Bear, and I was doing Popeye, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I gave it to Casey Kasem, and Casey's agent was a guy named Don Pitts. And Don Pitts at the time was I think at Cedar Sinai, and he either had a heart attack or a stroke or something, and he was in an oxygen tent. And Casey Kasem went to the hospital with a little portable tape recorder, and through the plastic played this demo. And a few weeks later, Don recovered, and he called me up and he said, I think you're very talented. I'd like to represent you. And I said, Mister, I don't know what that means, but as long as it's after 3 o'clock, because I got school. And I actually posted on my Facebook page a few days ago. Somebody, I think it was Mark Grau, posted a picture of Don's house demo reel from the 80s with, with my name on it, with Mark's name on it, but also with Orson Welles, Casey Kasem, and Mel Blanc, and just William Shatner, and all. I didn't realize that I had hit the agent jackpot from the get-go. This doesn't happen that often. I didn't have a professional demo. He took me on when I said, okay, now what's a SAG card?
Yeah.
So I was as green as they come. Agents won't take you on and develop you today the way they used to. So I just got really lucky early on.
Well, I never heard this part of the story that he had a heart attack and it was in the hospital when he
You know
got.
what it was? It was something where he was in the hospital. Yeah.
Well, and it hit me because I'm good at visualizing and seeing it, and I just saw Casey put that, near him, and your voice. I mean, this is where my mind goes because after being in the hospital with, a heart healing,
Right.
something like that, you hear that, and it makes you want to continue. So,
Well, here's the deal. I mean, look, I mean, I didn't ask Casey to do that,
right,
but he and Don were like really close friends. I think Don was his agent forever and ever and ever.
right.
So I get perhaps Casey was doing something to cheer him up and to maybe, I don't know.
I just, the thing that hit me was that I think your voice said, "Oh, I've got more to do." I don't know. This is what I got channeled. Whether it's
Well, so that was in the early 80s, and Don died last year. So he lasted quite some time after that. And his memorial was pretty amazing because I was seeing people I hadn't seen in a million years, and Paul Doherty was who was the D of CESD, was Don's assistant when I was there.
Wow.
So we've all kind of stayed somehow together. It's a very incestuous business. People go towards other avenues, but people kind of find that they're kind of running into each other in some way.
Yeah.
And I've always been very grateful to Don and hand holding me at that time in my career. And I was only with him my first 5 years. After that, I moved on.
Wow. Well, your focus is amazing. I think going through, I mean, knowing you, I mean, when I first got here, I always wanted to do voiceover, and I always loved doing animation, but I would jumpstart it, and I would do this or that. I'd love doing voices, but I took from you 15 years ago, and then I just took from you again last year. And
you got some classes to make up.
I know I do.
As soon as I go back to teaching again and see human beings.
I know, right? Yes,
Yeah.
I like to do that. But I have to say, you are one of, I mean, not just for voiceover, you're one of the best teachers I've had because you're straight to the point, yet you're loving with it.
I try to be. I'll be hard. I won't let you out of the booth unless I think I've taken you as far as I can take you. I'm not going to sugarcoat, but as a teacher, I want to push you beyond your comfort zone, but I never want you to be afraid to try again. Because we've all had teachers that, I don't know if they were just getting their ego lifted by making people feel bad,
right?
Or if they thought that by breaking you down, it will make you better. Well, that never works for me. I'll work you, I'll make you think, I'll get you out of that comfort zone, but I never want you to be afraid to try again for fear that I'm going to make you feel bad. But I do want you to do well.
Yeah. You're not one of those teachers who kicks the chair across the stage.
No, no, and I've had those classes.
Yeah.
You know, I studied with Stella Adler towards the end of her teaching, just because I wanted to say I took a class from Stella Adler. And at the time, she really wasn't a teacher; she was a critic, and she was a little bit senile.
Hmm.
And these two kids were on stage doing a scene from the Glass Menagerie, and in the middle of the scene, she said, "Please stop! Please stop! I knew Tennessee well. We were very dear friends, and you're staining his memory. You're contaminating his work. Please leave my stage now." And then they had to walk over and kiss her and go back to the audience. And I thought, that's not a teacher, that's a critic. But perhaps in her heyday, she was a better teacher. I don't know, but she wasn't then.
Oh my God. They had a kisser.
Yeah, I was disappointed, but I also, there's part of my ego that said I wanted to say I studied with Stella Adler. I never got to study with Lee Strasberg. There were certain Sandy Meisner I did not study with, but I did study 2 years at a Meisner conservatory with John Ruskin. That was phenomenal.
Wow.
But I wanted to be able to say, yeah, I took a class with Stella Adler.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, to hear that, it's like, to take from the greats.
Yeah.
At Performing Arts Studio West, where we
Yes.
have the Meets the Biz program, we have over 100 students. And
Hey. Oh,
I know, yeah. And then, of course, we have the Meet the Biz family, which is
right.
part of that, and then open to everyone. There are several people who do drawings, animation.
Mm-hmm.
One is Matthew Selden, and the other one is Austin Vance. And Austin sent me 3 of his drawings.
Yeah, I've got them right here.
Yes, which I sent you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if just to show what voices can do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's here's the first one here.
Right.
I guess that's Professor Jeff.
Right. A passionate inventor and scientist who's eager to be helpful.
Yes.
And you want me to create a voice for him?
Oh, that would be fun.
All right. Now let's see. So here's the deal. And for people interested in doing this, the picture and the description that comes with the audition, and there's usually dialogue. So I've got to make up the dialogue. When the producers, the casting directors send us auditions, it's a lot of meat, as much meat as the casting director can give us. So it wouldn't just be a one sentence description. It would be, here's the story, here's the series, here, and then a whole bunch of dialogue. That part of this is missing, so I'm going to fill in the gaps for you. So a passionate inventor and scientist who's eager to be helpful.
Well, he's a professor, and he's a passionate inventor. Oh, I love inventing things. I see I've got really strange hair. Well, let me tell you what I invented. I invented permanent hairspray. What that does is it keeps your hair in place at all times. The only problem is my assistants have no eyeballs because my hair pops out their eyeballs when I turn around quickly. So I turn around slowly.
I'm shaking the paper. I'm laughing. That's wonderful. Oh my God. Now, here's a question about, do they ever have auditions where they say, hey, here it is, make up your own script?
No.
Okay, so usually
I mean, I say no as a blanket statement, but every once in a while it will be there are no lines. It's a creature, so just make creature sound. But they might say happy. They might say curious, and they may only want growls.
Oh.
They may only want just sound effects, but they want you to emote. I have. Do I have it here? Do I have it here? I don't have it here, but I have a little tool that I use. I'm going to find it. Hang on.
Okay.
Don't go away.
We're
Don't
here.
go away. It's going to be here soon.
We are searching.
Nope, I found it.
Yay!
So this is my creature tool. This is not a sex toy. This is my creature tool. Okay. So if I want to do growls like tigers and lions and creatures, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it comes in handy because but you still have to emote. If he's curious, If he's happy, if he's sad, so just because you can make sounds doesn't mean you can act.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what a character sounds like. It matters if you can make the words, the emotions come to life.
Right. And make it and feel it.
Yeah. So if I get a job from that, when I audition in my booth, I bring that with me.
Wow.
Well, because they don't know I did that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. I've never seen that.
And by the way, all this is, it's just a vase that flowers came in for at a delivery one time in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
The things that you can come up with.
Yeah, right?
Creation. Well, we have the second one.
Yes.
Here we go. This is.
He's the villain who wants to take over the world to gain realization. All right.
Well, I realized I want to take over the world to gain realization. Also, I only have 3 hairs on the top of my head. I would like to realize more hair. I would like also, oh, look at the eyebrows. Why did God give me large eyebrows, but only 3 hairs on the top of my head? It makes me worry. Look at my worry line.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love it. I love it. Austin, I love these drawings.
Yeah, they're really fun.
And the voice. Okay, we have one more. One more.
Oh, this is the deadpan vampire mayor. I love that he's got an occupation.
Right.
The deadpan vampire mayor of a town. All right, I can just I've got a couple of ideas. By the way, this is something I will do for an audition. If I have more than one idea, then I'll give more than one take. I have a couple of ideas for this guy. I'm bored. I'm pointing at a picture of myself, or it's at a mirror. I don't know. I can't tell. I have 2 little fangs, and I don't know what to do with them. That's one choice. Another choice, I'm just looking at this guy going, oh, I hate my hair. Why do vampires have such horrible hair? I mean, Dracula had that widow's peak, and he wasn't even a widow. I've got this thing that looks like I'm a Bay City roller. I mean, really? Should the mayor look like a Bay City roller? And please, is that my neck or am I a priest?
Oh my God. Okay, I think I'm gonna hang these on my wall now. Oh my God. This is why you're number one.
Yeah, I'm not number 1, but I like to think I'm in the top 100.
Oh, please. Oh my God. Yeah, and what's so wonderful too is that you're you. You're real, you're loving, you're honest, and you don't have that attitude that some people do.
Oh, you know what? I appreciate that, but I gotta tell you, the VO community, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah, there's very few egos in the voiceover community. It's a real, you don't get a lot of jealousies. You don't get a lot of we're a giant mutual admiration society.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's very welcoming to those who want to do voiceover.
Yeah.
And who want to be in that business.
I think it's like anything else. It takes talent. It's all about acting. It takes hard work.
Right.
But you got to be happy for each other, man.
Yeah.
If you're fellow actors, everybody's just if you go to a voiceover session, everybody's just having a great time, enjoying everybody's work.
Having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
One other mention I wanted to say, you worked at the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences for years now.
Well, I'm on the board of governors. Yeah.
Okay. And that's, so you keep busy in many areas.
I do. I've been a board member now for 7-8 years. I've been an active member there since '94. I'm a recent member of the Motion Picture Academy, so I try to keep involved in the business. I like the business. The business is fun.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of writing a book or doing a book on tape about your life?
I am currently in the process of writing a book, but I've been saying that for the last 2 years, so I have lots of time now. So perhaps I can actually get this thing done. But I probably won't do an audiobook because I hate doing audiobooks.
Oh.
But
Even on your own life with different voices and.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No.
That does not thrill me. No.
Oh.
No. But what I'd like to do is it's basically the book is called Porky Dishes.
Porky
And it's just
Dishes?
Porky Dishes. And it's anecdotal stories about my career, uh, how I got into it, different stories from different jobs, etc. But each chapter comes with a delicious pork recipe.
Oh, I was wondering if it was a cookbook.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And this comes from a Jew.
With love.
With love. Hey,
Yeah.
I love that pork.
There we go.
Thank you, Bob.
This was fun, buddy. Thank
This
you.
was very fun. And I look forward to seeing you in person when this.
When we're allowed to see human beings in person again, without masks and gloves.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
All right.